Welcome to Tony Halloween. I am Tony Halloween, and on this channel we discuss all things Halloween. But today we're going to be talking about cemetery maintenance part 2. I'm going to pull out my mausoleum, all the tombstones, take a look at them, see what kind of shape they're in, and we're going to fix anything that needs fixing. So let's go take a look. So this is the mausoleum. It's not in as bad a shape as I thought it would be. We've got this that needs to be repaired. I'll just put some great stuff in there and clean it up and touch up the paint on it. Over on this side, this needs to be just touched up and painted. I don't think I need to fill that hole. But as we get closer to the top, see all these holes that were made by birds. They were stealing the styrofoam for their nests, and they do this every year. You can see that one I filled already. There's a couple over here that I've had to touch up and paint. And I think I may end up actually redoing these and doing them with a slight variation on the monster mud so that that stops happening, because every time they take those out, I mean, it could just look like chunk of broken rock if I do it right, but I got to do it right, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it right or not. So we'll play with it and see what we can do. This one, all of this is actually in really good shape. There's a few scuff marks, nothing too serious. Let's take a look at the backs. On the back here, we've got these, the rebar. These just kind of go over the rebar. The rebar goes in the ground. This goes over the rebar, and that's what holds the whole thing up. These are still in good shape. There's wood here that is great stuffed. Just put some insulation foam in it. Seems to hold wood to styrofoam super well. It's been several years, and it's not showing any sign of letting go. But this is coming a little loose, so we'll have to check on the screw that holds that in. I have to make some adjustments there. That's got a big chunk out of it, but that's okay. Nobody really sees that part of it. So we'll just clean it up a little bit and it'll be fine. Over here, this one looks like great stuff might, I never really had enough great stuff in there to begin with, so I might touch that up, add a little bit of great stuff down in there. But otherwise, this part seems to be in good shape. Now, what will happen is, see how that little bit of wood sticks up? What I do, let's see if I can. That wood will just go up inside. And it'll fit like that. Let's take a look at it. That's still pretty solid. Everything on there is nice and solid. That is in good shape. Excellent. And then this one, how are you looking? Yeah, all of this is still in excellent shape. Good. So we don't have to fool with any of that. I just gotta tweak the one on that thing and it'll be good to go. So the mausoleum is in decent shape. I just gotta patch these holes and do some touch-ups on these scuff marks, and it's ready to go. Awesome. Now the tombstones, somehow I've lost some tombstones. I had 16 or 17 of them at one point, down to like 9. I have to either get some more or make some more. This one's in pretty good shape. This great stuff is amazing. Like just a piece of wood, great stuff to the back of it. What this is the wind blows pretty hard around here. And those little plastic stakes they give you to hold the tombstones up are not going to hold the tombstones up. So a great stuff piece of wood screwed in the PVC pipe, run a little piece of rebar into the ground, and they sit on there and they will not move. This one is in good shape. This one's still in good shape. Check the other side of these. You can see where the great stuff came through. That's all right. I might touch that up. Or I might not. Broken tombstones are not a problem. And then this one, those are all in great shape. So these tombstones are all looking good. Don't need to do anything there. All right, cool. All right, so now that we've got that mostly covered up, it's already looking a lot better. We're just going to go in, and these spots where I had to touch up, you can see where the blue is just a little more obvious. So we're going to go in and do some highlights on it. Let's start with this green. That might be all we need. We'll do that part in a second because I want to get more of the green off. One of the reasons I chose green is because I wanted to give it just a little bit of a mossy look. Not that I'm trying to paint moss. but just to hint at it. So hopefully you can see on the camera how dry brushing just really makes the difference. It just highlights the spots. It doesn't cover the blue, the gray. Just adds to it. We'll go into this area here. Just add some green. It's just smoothing it out. There. Oh no, I think that looks much better. Alright, so I think what I've decided to do, since I'm probably going to be doing new ones next year, I think I'm going to just cut these out, carve these out, and make sure that they make them look kind of more like broken stone than trying to replace. This is what it looks like when you fill it with great stuff. It works. Looks kind of chunky and odd. But I think in this case, it's going to be better just to cut these chunks out and make them look like a chunk of rock had fallen out of it. I'm going to leave a little bit of space because I want it to kind of slope in. Like I always say, this is not a work of art for the museums. This is a Halloween prop. And a lot of times, the less perfect it is, the better. Because horror is not pretty. And also, when somebody sees this thing, it's going to be from a little bit of a distance. And they're usually not going to look at it for more than a few minutes, tops. So perfection is not necessarily what we're going for here. So as you can see, it does a pretty nice job of just blending in all those dark spots. Now we're gonna start on this other one, get this one finished. Oh yeah. What? What? I'm doing it the way you told me. Don't worry, I'm doing it the way you told me. It's okay. I know. These damn executive producers are always sticking their nose in. Where it's not wanted. But that's how executive producers are. So here's the end result. I think it turned out pretty good. All those holes look just like broken chunks of rock falling out of the wall, so that's exactly what we were going for. That's pretty much what we got. I think it worked pretty well. Now if you want to make these for yourself, they're just 2-inch. You can see this here. It's just 2-inch styrofoam insulation boards. You get them from your big box stores. And this and this, the two side pieces, are the same board cut in half. I think I might have cut them down a little bit. And then this is one board. I think I might have took a foot off for the height. They're 4 foot wide, 8 feet long, and I think I cut this down a little bit from 4 foot. To get the brick look, all you need is a soldering iron. You can buy them super cheap on like Amazon or at any hardware store, any big box store. And I just traced the lines with a Sharpie marker and then went over it with the soldering iron to burn it in. Now keep in mind, when you're working with styrofoam, you want to use a mask. The fumes that come off of this when you're burning it are pretty toxic, so you want to make sure you got a mask on. Once you get the brick lines marked in, then you can take, the best thing to use is a heat gun that you can also get from like Harbor Freight for fairly cheap. I did not use that. I used my wife's hair dryer, and it seemed like that did okay. Decent job of texturizing the brick. And then you just, to paint it, I just did one solid dark gray, and then just started airbrushing a number of different colors. You'll see there's some browns in there, there's greens, blues, and this is how it ends up. Just make sure when you're dry brushing that you do not get too much on there. Essentially, I made this initially to be a archway for my projector screen. I use Atmosfx FX, which are super cool. I'll put a link in here. I don't know if the links actually work, but you can copy and paste down in the description to get your own Atmosfx FX. And that's pretty much it. That's the mausoleum. I think the cemetery is ready to go up.